Have you ever laid awake at night, staring at the ceiling, consumed by a feeling of gnawing dissatisfaction? You find the perfect partner, but then you argue, or you fear losing them. The Buddha didn't teach a philosophy of pessimism. He taught a realistic diagnosis of our condition, and more importantly, he provided the cure. He didn't ask us to believe in him blindly. He asked us to look at the reality of our own experience. In his very first sermon, he laid out the blueprint of our bondage and the map to our freedom. He called this the Four Noble Truths. So these aren't religious beliefs. They're the unalterable laws of how suffering arises and how it ends. To understand our situation, we must listen to the Buddha's precise analysis. Birth is suffering, aging is suffering, illness is suffering, death is suffering, being with what you dislike is suffering, being separated from what you love is suffering, not getting what you want is suffering. The Pali word dukkha refers to a wheel that's off-center. No matter how smooth the road, the ride will be bumpy. He breaks this down into 3 levels. First is the obvious physical and mental pain, the stubbed toe, the grief of loss. Second is the suffering of change. This is the anxiety that underlies even our happiest moments because we know they cannot last. The vacation ends. The youth fades. The third is the most subtle, the suffering of conditioned states. This is the constant low-level stress of simply having to be someone, the burden of maintaining the self. Well, why is this happening? Buddha identifies the root cause in the second noble truth. The origin of suffering is craving. The root is Tanha, which literally means thirst. It's not the object that causes suffering. It's the glue of craving that binds us to it. We crave for pleasant sensations, crave to be someone, to be eternal. And when life becomes too painful, we crave for it all to just stop. This thirst is unquenchable. The Buddha compares it to a fire. The more fuel you feed it, the hotter it burns. As long as there is fuel, the fire of suffering burns. But the Buddha is the great physician. He doesn't leave us with a diagnosis of doom. The shock was too great for Kisa Gotami. Her mind snapped. She refused to accept he was gone. Picking up his little body, she went from door to door begging, "Please, give me medicine for my son." The villagers looked at her with pity and horror. Some mocked her, others drove her away. Finally, a wise man saw her condition and felt compassion. Said, "I don't have the medicine you need, but go to the Buddha. He has the remedy." Hope flared in her heart. She ran to the Buddha and cried out, "Lord, give me medicine for my son." The Buddha looked at her with infinite compassion. He said, "I can help you. But to make the medicine, I need a handful of mustard seeds. I will get them immediately," she cried. But the Buddha added gently, "The mustard seeds must come from a house where no one has died, where no son, daughter, father, or mother has ever passed away. Kisa Gotami didn't understand. Strand to the first house. The Buddha needs mustard seeds to cure my son. Do you have any? Yes, certainly, they said. As she was about to take them, she asked, Wait, has anyone died in this house? They looked at her sadly. Done, Lord, is the business of the mustard seeds. I understand now. The Buddha then taught her the Dhamma, and at that moment Kisa Gotami began her path to complete liberation from suffering. How do we apply this to our own lives? We're all Kisa Gotami before she entered the village. We're still knocking on doors, hoping to find a happiness that won't die. The practice is the fourth noble truth, the Noble Eightfold Path. Here are 3 steps you can take today. First, practice mindfulness of death. Every morning, remind yourself, this body is of the nature to die. I have not gone beyond death. This isn't morbid, it's liberating. When you accept the glass is already broken, you cherish it more while it's whole. Second, investigate your craving in real time. When you feel stress or disappointment, pause. Ask yourself, what am I craving right now? What am I demanding from reality? You'll find you are demanding that a transient thing be permanent. See the craving as a fire and imagine taking the fuel away. Third, cultivate the perception of impermanence in small things. Watch your breath. It arises and passes. Watch a sound come and go. By training your mind on the small endings, you prepare it for the great ending. You build the muscle of letting go. The Buddha warns us against heedlessness. If you ignore this truth, if you continue to cling, the suffering will continue. The 4 noble truths are the mechanism of your liberation. The mustard seed of permanent happiness does not exist in the house of the world. Stop knocking on doors begging for satisfaction. Lay the burden down. Thank you for watching. If this message resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe for more content on the path to true freedom.